Welcome back, YouTube, and today I'm going to do another weekly rant. Not really weekly, monthly? That's a big bug I just saw. Huh. Alright, well, I'll have to kill that later. So we're already off track, that's great, but as you can see here, we're going to be talking about tanks in Overwatch today, and I know I don't really do as much Overwatch content as I used to, and that's just because I find the game boring. Uh, I like how I said this was scripted, but I keep, the main part is scripted. This isn't scripted. Like, the introduction, it's not. Um, so yeah, the main reason I haven't really been posting Overwatch content is because my game was bugged for a little bit. I couldn't really hear people. And two is because I do find the game, mainly the tank role, boring. The only two meta tanks right now are Orisa and Sigma. I mean, you can get around playing everyone, but if you want the best chance at winning, you're gonna have to either play Orisa or Sigma. Sigma's funner than Orisa, but most of the time, you get your off tank playing Hog or something, and then you're forced to go to Orisa. So, yeah. So, without further ado, let's talk about the current state of tanks in Overwatch. The tank role in Overwatch is one of the most important roles in Overwatch, and it's sad to see the state that they are actually in. Orisa and Sigma are the only tanks being played in Overwatch League, unless one of them is banned, which, it would probably go to Orisa D.Va if Sigma was banned? Maybe? I don't know, because Orisa kind of sucks on her own. But, yeah. The recent patch notes, which was the Genji and Moira experiment, my bad, haven't even touched these characters. The last time Sigma got changed was in April with his rock buff thing, where he, it was less of a skill shot, I guess, the more stun at range, instead it's just a flat number. Orisa's was March, with her damage being nerfed, and the most recent change was some D.Va buffs that happened before the Genji experiment. Many of the experimental patch notes have mainly been focused on DPS and support, while tanks are left with no significant changes. As of writing this, or as of recording this, yesterday was the Overwatch Developer AMA, so yeah, and they kind of revealed that the next patch, experimental patch, will actually show us some changes to these two characters. So, this is kind of my take on it, I guess. Sigma has an overloaded kit, which is true, and Orisa isn't fun to play in-game, but necessary in the league. Now, I get that healing and DPS need to be tuned down as well, as the only way to kill things right now is with burst damage. The sustain is too high in this game. Both of these tanks can deal with it using shields, fortify, and grasp respectively. Here are some changes that I think that could help the tank role become more diverse. Okay, so we're going to talk about Orisa right now. So, O-R-I. I suck at writing. There, this is Orisa. Just boom. But she's got her little horn things. Yeah, this is Orisa. Alright. So, I'm gonna start off with her primary fire. I do think it needs to be nerfed, the little shooty shoot gun thing. The pew 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 pew. First off, I want to make this have falloff. So, this is like, 20 meters or something. And then the rest of this, it'd be like falloff. So, a lot less damage. This will make her less oppressive in maps like Blizzard World, where you have that huge choke to go through. And it'll basically just help Ryan a little bit. Okay. The next thing I would want to do is about Halt. So Halt, as it stands right now, puts everyone in. Excuse my horrible drawing skills. But yeah, right now it just kind of pulls everyone in, so I'm just going to draw some badly shaded characters. That's Reaper right there. This is May. You got Lucio right here. And I don't know, here's Mercy or something. I don't know. Anyway, as it stands, all these characters do get pulled in if it's connected. Now I'm not going to change the workings of Halt. It's still going to remain functionally the same, button click to activate the Halt, button click to activate to cause the Halt projectile to shoot out, use it again to activate it. So a nerf, or I wouldn't call this a nerf, I would call this just a change, is that the area of effect will be changed, so it will have a larger, area of effect. Just say this is 10 meters now, from the 7.5 that it previously was. And, oh my god, that was a voice crack. Jeez. But yeah, it's going to have a new 10-meter radius, and it's no longer going to pull enemies in from the center. Instead, it will slow by 20-ish, 25% for 1 second. And disable all movement abilities, so this includes Rhine Charge, Tracer Blink, Mercy, Guardian Angel. I guess Lucio Speed Boost and all that would be shut down. He'd be forced onto healing then. It would have the same functionality as Grav or other roots in Overwatch, like Graviton and Trap and Jump Trap, so Reaper and Moira could be able to fade and Wraith out of it. Anyway, this will be for 4 seconds, meaning that, oh hey, look, a Genji is going to Nanoblade us. Let me just draw this horrible Nanoblade Genji right here. Alright, so you got this Nanobladed Genji, you halt him. And now what? He has no dash. He still retains his, strong movement speed from it. That's going to be cut down by a quarter or a fifth after 1 second. But for 4 seconds, he can't dash. So even if he does kill, a squishy, as long as you can run away from him using, a Lucio speed boost or something, it counters the ult. And I really do think that Orisa should be this dive counter character instead of just a bunker character. Anyways, I don't like Grav on a cooldown, and reworking Halt to a movement stopping ability would make Orisa a dive counter, as I said, and make all the movement in the game easier to deal with. So yeah, Orisa would kind of counter mobility and power creep, or mobility creep in general in this game. Another thing I'd like to do is increase this to 10 seconds. Of course, this is all going to be experimental mode, so nothing serious as of yet. I'm just going to start to erase this now. I got rid of Orisa. Can I just undo this? Yes, I can. Alright. Alright, so the final thing I think is to turn Orisa's shield into Sigmas, basically. You'll see in a second here. So, first off, it's going to get double the HP pool. So, it's going to stand at 1200, which I think is the largest it's ever been. And Orisa can recall this. She can basically place it down, how it works functionally, but she can recall it with a 2-second cooldown, and once this gets destroyed, it's a 5-second cooldown. So basically, it will work like a Sigma Shield. A kind of nerfed one cooldown-wise, but I don't know. I think it's stronger in general. It'll make Orisa, be able to move her shield around like Reinhardt, but it will also make her be able to cover angles. But, she can only really click one angle, because, I don't know. I like this change. I like the change, even though Jeff, the Blizzard team, the Overwatch team, actually, that's probably what I should say, is trying to move away from barriers and go for more FPS genre style. I do think that this would be good. It's 300 HP less than Reinhardt's, but it's more. You can basically throw it, is what I'm thinking. You can save a teammate for a little bit. It'd basically be a Sigma Shield. So, Sigma Shield is going to be given to Orisa. Alright, and that's all the changes I think I gave for her. Yeah. Then talking about Sigma, he's definitely gonna get nerfed once I'm done with him. Okay, so let's go for our signature color with Sigma here. So SIGMA. Okay, so Sigma is also gonna get a mini rework. Let me just boop him right here. He's gonna not be happy about this. Alright, so the first off is that he's going to get a health increase to 450. So he's going to have like 350 HP, while, he has had 100 HP shields. This is just to make him a little bit more survivable, because I am doing a lot to him. So yeah. Alright, so his primary fire, his hyper spears, his bing bonks, they're also getting a range increase from 22 meters to 25 meters. But they're also going to get a lot more changes that I don't know how to really collect this on. But yeah. So the splash damage from the orbs, so let me just go like this right here, will be nerfed down to 30? Or no, it'll be nerfed to 20. So from like 30 damage to 20. But his direct hit damage will be 15, meaning that he'll have 120 damage again, as long as he hits 2 direct hits. This makes him a little bit more skillful, relying on those direct hits instead of splash damage. And to further this, we're also going to nerf his splash to 2 meters instead of 3 meters. His AoE per poke is also nerfed. So his experimental barrier. You know what? I think he's claiming this as a failure. Sigma Shield is gone. Crap. Yep, Sigma will no longer have a shield. He is going to be fully Kinetic Grasping. As of that, let me just do this little thing here. As of Kinetic Grasp, we're going to try and make it compete with Defense Matrix a little bit. And basically, when Sigma uses it, it will be in a 360-degree cone for 6 meters. So he can absorb any projectile within this 6-meter radius of him. And he'll still be getting shields. He'll actually get 450 shields instead of 400, making his maximum health 900 or something, if he does collect a lot of this. But he'll also be getting a Zarya bubble around him that can protect him for 100 HP. And this is to, stop hog hooks, brig knockbacks. Doom Punch, I don't really think it counters. I mean, it'll counter the initial punch, but it still knocks him back. So stuff like that. It'll also protect against lasers and all that. It'll just give him an extra little bit of survivability. Then his rock. Honestly, I don't really think his rock needs to be changed, but if I had to do anything, I'd just nerf the splash damage by 10. But that's about it. I want to make him more into an off-tank, and as Blizzard said, they're going to, nerf shields, generally. So I think this will actually be a very good look for Sigma. He might need to be buffed and tweaked a little bit, but hey, just remember, this is all experimental. So now for the more controversial changes, if this wasn't controversial enough. So we're going to talk about the other tanks. Oh yeah, Kinetic Grasp will also be getting a 2-second cooldown reduction, so it's 8 seconds instead of 10, and Rock would also be getting that, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the more balanced tanks in Zarya, Rein, Winston, D.Va, and Wrecking Ball. I don't really think these guys need any changes. Maybe Wrecking Ball a little bit. In Rein, honestly, Rein, I would just revert to Shadow Nerf and make his charge more consistent. That's all I would do. For Zarya, I would make her bubbles act a little differently. I mean, they'll still stay the same, but for like the first 100 damage, your charge gained will be buffed. So this will be 30% charge. Let me just... Okay, so this will be 30% charge on your first 100 damage. This will allow you to get a lot more charge in your first, like, few seconds of bubble. Because as soon as people see this, they will stop shooting. Unless, they can get the kill. But then, the last 10% will be on the other 100. So you'll still be able to get that 40% charge if your bubble does pop. I think this makes Zarya a little easier in, like, kind of poke phases. Where, the enemy's just shooting and they stop shooting because, they can't kill it and they don't want to give Zarya charge. But this will give Zarya more charge in general. I think it's a neat little change for Zarya. I would like to see it implemented in experimental mode, see how it changes her, but she doesn't really need it. She's very buffed. Or she is, like, very balanced. For Winston, let me get my monkey here. The monkey is really balanced as well. See, he's smiling. But he's really bad as well. And now he's not smiling. Yep, that's Winston right there. Okay, so yeah, Winston, I would just say a new passive called, like, Short Circuit. And basically, this is his Tesla cannon, and this is perhaps Mortality Field. What he would do to this would just be to deny it completely, as long as he's targeting it. So, cleave, all that. And this would also apply to, like, Torb turrets and Sim turrets. I really don't think he needs a buff. Especially one kind of crazy like this. He would counter Batiste, he'd counter Bunker in a sense. Because, he'd also counter, like, Supercharger, all the deployables. He'd counter all the deployables. Like this, he would just disable them. As long as he's just shocking it. But really, I think if I did have to do anything with this, it'd probably just be a net 50% damage buff against deployables instead, because I think that's just getting too much into Sombre's territory of hacking. But, he doesn't really need a buff. D.Va's fine, just maybe a little bit faster in shooting. Like, by 7% or so that she's, like, 33% slower while shooting. And then for Wrecking Ball, all I would do is just increase his ammo to 100, as a lot of people think he needs. It'll just help him with cleaning up kills. And now I ruined this. Oh well. Alright, so now let's talk about the worst tank in the game right now. Roadhog. I kind of have some trouble with buffing him. I went through a few ideas here. One was giving him, like, a new ability of, like, a chain that would, like, protect people for as long as they were, like, standing near him. But then, I was like, so now it's going to be a passive for him. Welcome to the new Roadhog Bodyguard. So Bodyguard is going to be kind of Roadhog's tank kind of style. So within a 10-meter radius around him, we'll just put this little bloop as him, and then, I don't know, let's say an Ana right here. and maybe like a Reinhardt or a Winston or something. I don't know. So then I guess we can just add, I don't know, like this is an enemy Mei, and here's Tracer, an enemy Tracer. So yeah, obviously not real, but you know, I'm just speaking my mind right here. Alright, so Roadhog. So let's just say this Tracer, you know, she's going after the Ana. With Roadhog near her, you know, obviously a little bit threatening, but let's just say he wastes hook or something, trying to hook the Mei. You know, god dang it, Roadhog. You missed your hook. Wow. But now the Ana's kind of screwed, right? Because Roadhog can't really do as much without his hook. But, oh hey, he has this new bodyguard. And what this would do is he would take 20% of all damage coming towards his nearest ally within 20 meters, within like the 10 meters. So as this Tracer's like shooting, 20% of her damage would actually be going into Hog because he's bodyguarding effectively. You know, this kind of fits with Roadhog's lore too, as like a bodyguard to Junkrat. You know, he's kind of a mass murderer, but whatever, right? So he'd take 20% of all damage, incoming damage, with this. So it would help against like weak. I mean, I guess weaker damage like Reaper shotguns, you know, it wouldn't really affect him that much. But like against burst damage, like Soldier 76's burst rifles or Helix rocket, his right click I think does 120. 20% off is like what? It's more than 20. Right? Yeah. I don't know the numbers for this. I think it'd be like 14 damage or something. Or no, not like 24 damage being taken off the Ana or something. I don't know. I'm not good at math. Maybe 25 damage. Who knows? But still, it's like a reasonable chunk that'll be put onto Roadhog instead of the Ana. You know? Because now the Ana can just... Now the Ana has a little bit more survivability and all that. Another change I would like to make is to his shotgun. Obviously, shotgun is kind of controversial as it makes Roadhog, you know, this solo carry kind of character. Really, the only change I would make is that his right click actually just does more damage. Like, so like the projectiles right here, I'm just going to make them do like 1 more damage. So a net, you know, a 16% increase in damage. This would basically strengthen his poking and shield break potential. And that's really all I think Roadhog really needs. He doesn't really need that big of a buff, as he's, you know, this solo character that can be OP at some reaches. For his vape, you know, the healing, I don't like that. I don't know how many times on this channel I've expressed that I hate it. How, like, they did him in experimental all that time ago with the 132. I don't like Roadhog being this healing tank. I really don't. I feel like it just doesn't fit him. He's a murderer, alright? But he's also like a bodyguard to Junkrat. You know, guarding his treasure, all that. I don't really think that healing fits the lore of this character, and now, you know, it's a game, lore and the game don't really mix. But I just don't think that Roadhog would be the character to heal other people. Even if... I just don't like his healing aspect in general. I would rather him... Because if he does that, he's gonna be like, you know, a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none kind of character. I would rather push him in the DPS tank direction rather than the everything direction and have him end up like Soldier, who's kind of bad at everything. But, yeah, obviously you can find a lot more simpler stuff down in the description. and I might be able to post some Overwatch content soon. I'm getting back into the game a little bit. Uh, but yeah, that was the end of this weekly rant. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want, dislike if you thought this was bad, and I'm kind of getting ready for the next experimental patch, so see you in the next one. Bye.